What is up? I know I always get excited when I hear that intro, Dave. I'm pretty sure you get excited too, because that means we get to hang out and we get to talk. And Ray Heward is watching us. So that's super exciting.
Right?
My day just got better automatically because Ray, if you've never talked to Ray, is the most infectiously awesome and positive person I've ever met in my
True
entire life.
story. Yeah,
So,
when I hear that music, it's like the equivalent of hearing that dun dun, you know, like, oh my gosh, sports, I've got to go. Like that's how I feel. Whatever I'm doing, I drop it and I run. And then when I see Ray is here, it's like, what? I get to tune in with some of my favorite people ever. This is awesome. Yep.
I know and we have a lot of people watching this morning. We have like over 18 to 20 people watching already in the first minute, which is fantastic from across the internet. And they are here.
Should I turn off my 17 phones? Sorry.
Oh yeah. We don't want to. Raymond Porton, Livia Chan, some of our amazing Teach Better Mastermind members are here right now. And we say members sort of loosely because it's a very open family. You can join and you can join in on these conversations every single week at teachbetter.com/mastermind, which I will eventually figure out the button that makes it come across the bottom, which I should have done already, but I didn't. So look for that over the next, 30 seconds or so as I rustle around on my computer. So Dave, give me a quick recap. We had 2 sessions every Tuesday, one in the morning, one in the afternoon. Jeff Gargis is also stopping by, my other favorite person. Absolutely. Give me the rundown. How did the chats go yesterday overall? And were there are there any topics that really stuck out to you that we need to dive into a little deeper on this recap?
Yeah, you got it. So I'm going to rewind and talk about the idea you just said, the membership or the family environment that we have with the masterminds. And that's what I'm going to focus in on right now is membership. Oh, and it's scrolling. There you go. So he's got it, guys. He found the button to click. The mastermind membership or the mastermind family. One thing that I think is so important to continue to point out is that each and every week, this family or this membership, whatever we want to call it, grows. Every single week at every meeting, new people join us. And it's not like the new people sit in the corner and there's this cool core group of cool people that have been there for weeks and weeks and weeks, months and months and months. They dominate, and then everybody else is just on the sides. I mean, when you come and you join this, you are immediately part of the family. You are immediately granted membership into the masterminds. And yesterday was no exception. Amazing new people join us, and sometimes new people join us just because they see the link on social media. Somebody mentions it. Sometimes they know somebody who has invited them, and they come and they virtually sit with them. Regardless, we always have new people that join us. And like I said, yesterday was so powerful because I always feel like when somebody new joins us, they add so much to the conversation. They add much value, and that's the beauty of the mastermind is getting a variety and diversity of mindsets and perspectives. So often when we're going through our leadership struggles, we seek out people within our own organization or people that we work with daily who tend to see things the same way that we do. And it limits our way of thinking. So coming to Mastermind, it's a way to recharge, refresh, just smile a little bit and hear different perspectives. And that's what we got yesterday in both sessions, the morning and the afternoon. And it's really evolved into like 3 sessions now with our 2 breakout rooms that we're doing in the mornings and then our 1 super group in the evening. It's pretty powerful.
Yeah, it's been really amazing. Since you've kind of taken the helm of this, it's just grown exponentially. So kudos to you on that. But furthermore, we were talking about this before we went live. I feel like administrators, leaders, just anyone who has that crew that they're trying to lead and figure out and navigate, this group reaches this perfect sort of balance and harmony, which is what we like to talk about in the leadership group. It reaches this perfect harmony of being able to vent with like-minded individuals and get that SEL, socio-emotional support, right? Mm-hmm. And being able to logistically solve your real-time problems, right?
Yeah.
So we've literally had people, the first time they join, unload on like their emotions and everything else and been able to help them. But we've also had people join the first time ever and then get a solution for their problem that they're having that day. And it's been so cool to be able to offer both of those things, because just like you're saying, leaders often have a hard time venting and getting that SEL and that self-care need in their professional circles, in their schools or in their districts, because they have to put on that face, they have to put on that show. But here is a group where you, I think, have done an amazing job, just giving you credit where it's due, creating an atmosphere and an environment where they can feel safe to kind of unload their biggest worries, but also supported so that they can overcome their biggest challenges. And it's so cool. And, Raymond, who's an amazing member of our group, also said we even have things like the Voxer group. So these conversations are not even stopping, after the meeting. They're continuing. People are continuing to reach out. It's just been absolutely fantastic. So it really is grown to be an amazing thing. I love it.
Well, I think there's so much to unpack from that. And first of all, thanks for the compliments, but it has literally nothing to do with me. I get to just sit in the corner and watch the magic happen. Where I think what separates the Teach Better Mastermind group from a lot of the other amazing programs that are out there, and I have a full-time job working with one of those programs, a higher ed leadership program. So there are a lot of other awesome entities out there. But what separates the Teach Better group, and this is what we were joking about a little bit before we went live, is I said it's almost like we are the Planet Fitness of leadership environments. We're that judgment-free zone where people can just come in and whatever their shape is, wherever their fitness level is, they can come in and find a spot. But also, like when you enter Planet Fitness, you can also get personal training. You can have somebody say, give me one more rep, and they can hold you accountable when you're in there, and they can help you grow. They can help you reach your own personal goals and whatever it is that you want to achieve. And what I think separates Teach Better is their accountability. That's more than just a meeting. And I talked about this a little bit with Jeff Vargas last night, who came to our evening session. He and I stuck around and talked a little bit with Liv Chan actually afterwards. I said, what is so cool about Teach Better is that when we go to Mastermind, or really to any Teach Better type of event or programming, Teach Better doesn't come in and say, we're just going to provide you a bunch of answers to a bunch of problems. It's whatever your problem is, we will help you figure out what you need. And I think masterminds do that as well. We are designed to just stand beside people if that's what they need. We are there to push them from behind if that's what they need, to stand up and pull them if that's what they need. There's so much emotional capital that is invested each and every week. Last night was a perfect example. We were all just wiping tears off of our faces last night, literally, because of the emotional investment we all had with each other and our struggles and our challenges. It's just such a powerful place to support each other without feeling like you had to go in, everybody else is going to be preaching at you and giving you all their expertise and giving you a leadership seminar. That's not what it's about. It's about helping people be better people so they can be better leaders. And it's just so good.
And I love the fact that you talked about that accountability and that mentorship that happens in this group. I mean, me personally, like I literally have like 2 to 3 calls this week from people in the group where we're just unpacking like ideas and having conversations and learning from each other. And then there's other conversations happening in the Voxer group. So it's truly creating this high impact network, right? Yeah. Of support and individual accountability. And it's been absolutely amazing to see that, because I think often it's the leaders who don't get that because they're providing it for everybody else, right? And if you think about that, Nikki, great to see you. If you're thinking about that, a lot of times it's those leaders that are the most alone because they don't have anyone to talk to, especially if you're sitting here at the building level, you feel like you're getting it from both sides, right? You're getting it from above you, telling you what you need to do, and then you're trying to shield your staff. So you're sitting here on your island where this is really providing a place where we can band together and solve those problems, where you can have that group of other like-minded individuals to come together and solve some problems. So speaking of solving problems, were there any big impact sort of issues or problems that you thought we tackled in this week's masterminds that you think our audience could benefit from hearing?
So you kind of alluded to one of them, and this has been a theme that I think we've uncovered over the last couple of weeks that tends to always pop up. And so I'm going to talk a little bit about the conversation last night without going into specifics, because there was a lot of vulnerability and a lot of trust put on display last night with people sharing their real experiences, and I don't want to put that out on social media. But the crux of it is, as leaders, regardless of your role, whether you are superintendent, principal, curriculum coordinator, dean, department chair, whatever your leadership role is, you answer to somebody else. Even if you're superintendent, you answer to the board. If you're the board, you answer to a governor. If you're a governor, you always have somebody else you're answering to, and you always have people that you are supporting and you're serving. And last night we talked about the idea that as leaders, I personally believe the role of a leader is a translator. Your job is to help communicate between different languages, from people above, people below, people side to side. It is an art of translation. And you are constantly trying to figure out the messages that other people are sending to ease the translation so everybody can be on the same page and everybody understands the same trajectory. But the art of translation is an art, and art is hard. I'm not a very good artist. I have a difficult time putting things into any kind of context that other people can appreciate and enjoy. But I think that is the struggle of leadership. It is truly the art of translation. And right now, leaders everywhere are struggling with that, because there tends to be this big divide between those people that are making decisions and those people that have to implement the decisions that are made. And there are a lot of people stuck in the middle, trying to navigate that, wear the happy face, trying to figure out which hill to die on, which fight to have, which questions to ask. So we spent a lot of time just unpacking that yesterday in a variety of different formats, in a variety of circumstances that were very specific to individual schools and systems. But that's the crux of it, is how do you navigate that? How do you maintain authority? How do you maintain accountability? How do you maintain support? How do you maintain integrity? How do you support both ends of the spectrum, do your job, and also serve kids on a daily basis? And that's the struggle right now.
Yeah, absolutely. I had a similar conversation with an administrator. I'm going to work with their staff in a couple of weeks, and they said, Chad, like, what do I need my staff to know before you come? What do I need to let them know? And what do I need to have them do before your presentation or your training, or whatever it is? And I told them, I was like, I can take a staff from anywhere they're at to where I need them to be. Like, I'm not worried about that. I need you as the leader to lay out your expectation for what you want staff to do with this information. Mm-hmm. That is truly what I need you to do, because what will increase the stress level of staff is uncertainty of expectation. Right. And not knowing if they're meant to listen to what I have to say and do it tomorrow, or if they have some time to let it mull over and think about it and work on it, or if they're looking at this long-term or short-term. So it's really, I love the fact that you said it's the art of translation, because that's real. Like, that's a real conversation that I have. And a lot of times, and I'm just kind of putting this together now as I hear your words of wisdom here, it's like a lot of times I am coaching leaders on just translate your expectations. Just translate your expectations for what you want to see day to day, or what you expect your staff to do with the information or the words or the training or the development that they're being provided, right? So I think that's absolutely critical in so many ways. And I absolutely love that came up.
Yeah, and we see it. I mean, the same conversation is held in classrooms. Teachers are leaders of their classroom spaces, and we're all 100%. Leaders in some capacity. We sometimes get so lost in the how that we forget about the what or the why, and I think that's the crux of this as well. We have so many people out there trying to solve problems on the logistics and how we're going to manage this and what software we're going to use, what platform, and they forget what their ultimate goal is, what they're trying to accomplish with all of these things. Like right now, with a lot of schools going to hybrid models and transitioning with kids back into the classroom, they're so fixated on the logistics and all of the things that are going on, they forget what their ultimate goal is. And honestly, 100%. I think oftentimes if you were to ask people, what is your goal? There's this dramatic pause where they have to contemplate and figure out, I don't necessarily know what our goal is right now. And the goal is more than just get kids back into school. I mean, why are kids going back into school? What is the goal there? How are you going to know if you made success? And I could dive deep into assessment and all that, which I'm not going to. But that's what we have to do as leaders. As leaders, it's about us helping unpack that, because that's that translation divide, is what are you trying to say? And then let's make sure that we're all saying it the same way.
Yeah, it's the exact same thing when you're rolling out a new learning management software or a new instructional tool. So many times, and it's just to articulate your point, anecdotally here, so many times I will talk to an administrator and they're like, we're really focused on rolling out Schoology right now. We're really focused working on rolling out Seesaw or what have you. And I always ask them, what's the purpose of the tool? Like, what do you want to see? Because the tool becomes irrelevant if the message and the expectation and the goal isn't apparent to the staff and being articulated by the leadership, right?
Yeah.
If it's just learn this tool because we told you to, that's a really weak argument, right? But if we say, we need you assessing more regularly in your classroom, and this tool will help you do that. The goal is assessing more regularly and getting more real-time data. The tool is just a means at which to do that, which then in turn lowers the stress of the staff, because then you're focused on the instructional outcome, not the tool or the medium in which that outcome is provided.
Yeah, that's good. And to kind of tie this back a little bit to yesterday specifically. So each week in the masterminds, we do a warm-up activity where we get to know each other a little bit better. And yesterday we did this amazing activity where everybody got to share their mantra, their life quote, their tweet worthy, whatever. We do brainstorming, and then we wrap up with commitments. And for the last couple of weeks, one of our masterminds has had a commitment that he wants to work on complaining better. I mean, and I look at that and I resonate. I'm like, oh, that is so good. And I know exactly what he's trying to say. But yesterday he kind of refined that and said, it's not just that he wants to complain better. Now he wants to complain better and help grow better as well. Because he realized that he was trying to reshape his arguments and constantly pushing back to some of these initiatives that in his mind just did not make sense. There was no order to them. There was no end goal in mind. But he realized that these leaders are out there trying to solve the problems that they are aware of, that they hear from certain stakeholders, and they are just trying to address those problems, those issues, whether they're IT issues or they're teacher issues or union issues, and they're truly doing the best they can. But his goal and his charge as a leader right now, translation doesn't always go downstream, down. Hopefully you understand what I'm saying there. But sometimes it has to go upstream as well. That as a leader, you also have to be willing to ask those questions so make decisions above you to help inform them. Because sometimes we lose sight of the fact that we are out there trying to educate kids, and that's our ultimate goal, or how it's going to impact parents and families and some of those other details. So it's not just about complaining better. It's not just translating one way. It's going uphill as well and asking questions the right way. So you're not just complaining better, but you're growing everybody as well. And I just thought that was so powerful, and it resonated with me yesterday.
Absolutely. And it's one of my favorite chapters of the Teach Better book, by the way.
There you go.
But yeah, absolutely. I 100% agree in the fact that we can provide that, that piece of insight, that accountability for that, I think is absolutely fantastic. Especially during these times, a lot of leaders, a lot of teachers, a lot of everyone just gets so tunnel visioned on making it through the moment, making it through the day, making it through the week, that we lose sight. And I'm absolutely guilty of this. When we get bogged down and we're just going, we forget about the larger picture. And I think a lot of times, and we hear this all the time, leaders will say, this is when my week starts, Tuesday at 9 a.m. or Tuesday at 7 p.m. or whatever it is, and it really becomes the start of their day, because that's when they are defining what their week's going to look like and defining their goals for the week, and that's absolutely fantastic. And
we jokingly said last night in the group that Mondays and Tuesdays might suck, but Wednesday through Friday are going to be amazing, because we reset with the mastermind, and that is truly it. Monday and Tuesday, we're just ripping our hair out, but then we find some solutions, we find our center again, and we finish the week strong. And that's what life is about. I was looking at a tweet this morning from somebody who was asking, are you a sunrise or a sunset person? And I am all about sunrises. I would much rather have a fresh start than a happy ending. For me, it's all about starting new and growing and getting better every day. And that's kind of what Mastermind does. It allows you to have that fresh start going forward. So
I absolutely agree, man. I think I'm a sunrise person too, as well. Because you can attack the day. You can always attack the day. and you can reform and review like what that day is going to be like. And it's the same thing with teaching, right? Like I used to say, like the first 5 minutes of every class is going to make or break your lesson.
Truth.
And every single time a new set of kids enters the Zoom call or enters the classroom, that was my COVID 2020 way of talking about education, enters the educational arena, so to speak, you're getting a new opportunity to re-engage, to rework, to fix if something went wrong previously. So I absolutely love that mentality. So we're going on about 20 minutes right now. So Dave, we've talked a lot about a lot of the great things that happen in this group. We've touched on some of the main things that happened this week. If people want to join, right?
Yeah.
And they don't want to have to memorize when this is every single week, what's the easiest way for them to connect to this group, whether they're watching live right now or they're watching this later? What should they do? Like, how should they get involved?
Yeah. So number one, there are absolutely no strings attached to this. We are firm believers that you build relationships, period. You don't build relationships because ... There's no because that's just manipulation. There's no manipulation in this. Come to Mastermind and just grow, lean in, make friends, and period. End of story. No strings attached. No fee, no charge, no hit, whatever. Read the subtext. It's just people trying to benefit and grow people, period. If you want to be a part of it though, you can see it scrolling at the bottom of the screen there, teachbetter.com/mastermind. Super easy. You go there, you'll see a place that says register. And the registration is very simple. It just gets you in the loops that on Tuesday mornings, you'll get the email. And the email comes out, it comes out an hour before each session. It comes out 10 minutes before each session. And each of those emails has the Zoom link in it. It's that easy. The emails come out just as your little reminder. So you don't have to have a place set. You don't have to have it bookmarked and favorited. You'll get the email. You click the link and you join us. That simple. So teachbetter.com/mastermind.
And I absolutely love the low stakes commitment, the low commitment level that this requires. Because even though it is a low commitment level, we have people that live for this every single week. Like they will block out the time on their calendar. But if you're busy, you're going to get that reminder as long as you register using that link. So maybe you're having a busy day and you're not going to make it this Tuesday, but next Tuesday you have some downtime. You get that email and you go, you know what? I have a problem. I need to talk through it. Yeah. You can join every other week, once a month, once a quarter if you want. And regardless of what you need from this group, chances are you can get it. And that's truly what I absolutely love about it. So
what does Dave Burgess say? Would people want to come to your class if they didn't have to?
Right.
Here you go.
And that's what we've created.
Boom.
You don't have to, but people still want to come. So that's always a good sign. Absolutely. So Dave, I want to thank you as always for just continuing to grow this as a member of our Teach Better team. You've done an amazing job kind of taking the helm and really lifting this to the next level. I want to thank everyone for joining us. If you're watching this later, doesn't matter. You can still enjoy all of the recap if you missed this week. And if you want to get in on the action, teachbetter.com/mastermind. But everyone, have an amazing day. Dave, thank you as always.